Your mother spent hours in labor, maybe with an epidural, with doctors, with monitors tracking every heartbeat. Now imagine none of that exists. You're in a forest. It's cold. No painkillers. No antibiotics. No one with medical training within 10,000 years. And here's the most insane part. Human childbirth is the most dangerous of any primate on the planet. No other animal faces the same odds of dying simply by producing offspring. A chimpanzee gives birth in under an hour. A capuchin monkey even faster. The infant emerges without assistance, the mother cleans it and moves on. A human. Hours. Sometimes days. Blood. Pain beyond anything imaginable. And a real chance of not surviving it. So how did your ancestors survive childbirth without medicine, hospitals, or doctors? The answer starts where your body does something physically impossible. Here's the problem. Your species made a mistake. An evolutionary one. When your ancestors stood upright, roughly 4 million years ago, the pelvis changed. To walk efficiently, it became narrower. Much narrower. That was the trade. The ability to walk and run onto legs, in exchange for internal space. Then a second thing happened. The brain started growing. At an extraordinary rate. Over the million years it tripled in size. These two things, a narrow pelvis and a massive brain, that should have ended your species. Because a large-brained infant cannot pass through narrow hips. Not mathematically. Not geometrically. Scientists call this the obstetric dilemma. And there is no solution. Only a compromise. Human infants are born premature by the standards of every other primate. If a human baby were born at the same level of developmental maturity as a chimpanzee infant, pregnancy would last 21 months instead of 9. And the baby simply would not fit. You were born premature, helpless, with a soft skull, because the alternative was your mother's death. But that's not even the full problem. Your narrow pelvis isn't just narrow. It's curved. It has a complex shape, not a straight tube but a twisted tunnel, which means the baby cannot simply slide out. It has to rotate 3 times. First rotation, entering the pelvis. The head tilts, chin to chest. The widest diameter of the skull has to align with the widest diameter of the mother's pelvis. Millimeters decide everything. Second rotation inside. The baby turns 90 degrees. The shoulders align. The mother's spine arches. Third rotation, exit. The narrowest point is passed, but now the shoulders have to squeeze through. One more turn, and then out. All of this happens inside the body, without instructions, without guidance. The body knows what to do because millions of women before you died attempting it the wrong way. Evolution only remembered what worked. The female body is not weak. It is the most complex biomechanical survival mechanism that has ever existed. Now here's something that almost nobody knows. Something that changed in the last 300 years. When you picture childbirth, you see a woman on her back. Legs in stirrups. Doctors above her. That's the standard. But for 300,000 years of human history, nobody gave birth lying on their back. This position was invented in the 17th century by King Louis XIV of France. He enjoyed watching the births of his mistresses. Lying on her back gave him a better view. Doctors copied it, and it became the standard. Not because it was better for the mother or the baby, because one man was curious. Your ancestors gave birth squatting, or on their knees, or standing, gripping a tree branch. And there were reasons, physical, evolutionarily tested reasons. Modern research shows that an upright position increases pelvic diameter by 0.5 centimeters. Gravity assists. Muscles work more efficiently. Pain is reduced. Labor is shorter. Your species evolved to give birth with gravity. Modern medicine removed gravity from the equation, but even with the right position, human childbirth is too dangerous to go through alone. Every other primate gives birth in solitude. The female leaves the group, finds shelter, and returns with her infant. For humans, that is a lethal risk. And so roughly 40,000 years ago, something happened that changed everything. Childbirth became a social event. Archaeological findings and anthropological data point to the same conclusion. There were always other women present. A mother, a sister, an experienced woman who had witnessed dozens of births. This was the first healthcare system in human history. Not medicine, experience. These women knew which plants slowed hemorrhage, how to reposition a stuck infant, when to wait and when to intervene. That knowledge passed from mother to daughter across 1,000 generations. And it worked. Maternal mortality in pre-industrial communities is estimated at around 1.2% per birth. By modern standards, that's devastating. For a world without antibiotics or surgery, it's a testament to how effective that system actually was. But even with all of that, one problem remained that couldn't be solved by position or support: size. The human infant skull is a feat of engineering. It is not one solid bone. It is 5 separate bone plates connected by soft tissue, the fontanelles. They allow the skull to deform. Sometimes, significantly. The plates compress. They overlap. The head temporarily changes shape, elongating into a cone, sometimes to 2-3 centimeters longer than normal. Without this, birth would be physically impossible. Literally. Modern X-rays show it again and again, a head compressed almost beyond recognition during delivery. Then, days later, it returns. The bones separate. The sutures harden. Your skull already knew that path. The first challenge you ever faced before your first breath. And now, the most important layer of all. Infant mortality in prehistoric times was enormous. Anthropologists estimate that between 43 and 56% of children did not survive to age 15. Birth was the most dangerous moment of all. But here's what's remarkable. Those who survived received a quality of care that modern science is only beginning to fully understand. A 2021 study from the Australian National University showed that infant mortality in ancient societies was not the result of neglect. Parents did everything possible. The world was simply brutal. Mothers breastfed for 3 to 4 years. This wasn't just nutrition, it was an immune system. Breast milk contains antibodies that a newborn cannot produce on its own. Every feeding was a dose of natural medicine, and ancient mothers didn't raise children alone. The idea that it takes a village to raise a child isn't a metaphor. It is a literal description of anthropological reality. Older children, grandmothers, aunts, everyone participated. The investment was enormous. And it paid off. That child was your ancestor, in a direct line. From that cave to you. Human childbirth is not a story of weakness. It is a story of impossible compromise. A narrow pelvis, a massive brain, a curved canal, a triple rotation, a compressing skull, and a community of women who helped each other survive it for 40,000 years. No other animal on this planet goes through anything like it. You are the product of the most complex biological survival process that has ever existed. Your mother went through it. Her mother did too. And so 1,000 generations back did every woman in your line. All of them made it. Otherwise you wouldn't be here.